wanted.
I hear the voices inside my head, see voices behind the wall, uplifting the underdog, we fighting above the law.
Let me turn the volume on. There we go. Hello, everybody. Okay, mods. So tonight, same rule. Just questions are welcome with respect, of course, but nastiness definitely blocked immediately tonight. Hey, Hev. Hey, Dalen. And I am at the end here. After I am done, I'm going to open up the panel for people that want to come up here, and maybe a lot of people have reached out to me and told me that they grew up in the system also. And so if anyone wants to come up at the end and share their experiences, they are more than welcome to. And I'm going to, again, in the description and in the pinned comment, I do have trigger warnings because this is my experiences and what I went through in the system. And I'm doing this tonight because it's bothering me that people are so excited that these 3 boys are in foster care. Like, people are so happy about this and think that it's just so awesome. It's such a great thing. And I have been actually thinking about the boys every day and concerned, honestly, for them because of what my experiences are. Tonight, we'll discuss physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual abuse, rape, torture, and suicide. So if any of these are a trigger for anybody, you will not want to watch this show tonight. So I'm gonna give it a few minutes though, and I'll repeat that because I know people are just probably getting their alerts and coming in or whatever, but I will give you a fair warning. If you are triggered or have PTSD to any of these topics, again, rape, torture, suicide, physical abuse, mental abuse, sexual assault, all of every kind of abuse you can think of, okay? That is going to be discussed tonight. Right. Yeah. A lot of kids. Yeah. Foster care is not what it seems. It is like a needle in a haystack that you find a good family that is adopting a child from love and not for a paycheck or something like that. So, yes, please be respectful. And you guys, I am going to kind of go over some things, but I'm not going to be paying attention to chat. Hubby's paying attention to chat. I know I got awesome mods watching tonight and protecting, so thank you in advance. But yeah, I'm going to try not to pay attention to chat at first, okay? I will answer questions, but just let me kind of get into it because a part of me has always wanted to talk about this, but I haven't. But thinking about, the Wells's kids and how I actually have 100 comments from today alone. And I know some J for Justice has even heard, a lot of people have seen that people are rejoicing, if you will, about these boys being in the system. And I'm just sad for them. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. And thank you, Punksy. You guys are awesome. So all I can think of, and I was born in 83. I started bouncing around in the system at 3 years old, got put back with my mom about 5 years old, and then taken away very quickly after that again. And I've been in the foster system in America and in Canada. So, hey Cheshire, hey Blazing Spirit, hey Miss Wednesday. Okay, hey everybody. So my experiences will maybe not be the same as other people who have been through foster care. Again, I can only say what my experiences have been. Oh, thank you. Cotton Candy, thank you. So I'm going to start with realizing now all three of Don and Candus's sons are, hey Caminelli, are over the age of 5. Something that I was made aware of, and again, really quick, guys, I am not going to pay attention or answer questions right now, okay? If Mr. Chair sees any that he can bank for me to answer later, whatever, but there'll be a time for that, okay? So, the boys, they are all over 5, all three of them. I believe they are 9, 11, and 13, or some thereabouts in that age ranges. So they're all over 5. Something that I was made aware of at a very early age, probably about 5 years old. When you have memories, you're not dumb. Like, these kids can hear what's being talked about from them. They can see what's being wrote about them. And so at 5 years old, I was made to be very aware that I was basically unadoptable. Okay. And I'm hearing these things. So, to be honest, there's so much, it's probably more than one show, but I'm going to try and squish it all in here so that you guys can understand like why I'm not happy, because people are, why are you not happy that they're in the system? Well, this is why. So I was made very, very aware that at 5 years old, probably not going to get adopted. Okay. I was put into foster care with my younger sister, who is so she's 4 years younger than me. And when she was almost 2, the second round that we were put into the foster system. So the second time I had my baby sister, the first time I don't think she was even born. So thank you, Bonnie. So anyway, the first time I don't really remember much. I was way too little. And then my mom had my sister, and my mom, she got me back, because they do try to, even if you're a big drug addict, they do try to get you back with your parents if they're willing to change and things are not too bad, right? And so my mom, she got me back. Now, my dad was 16 when I was born, and my mom was 17. So they were young, and this is in the 80s. So, a lot of things are probably different than what it would be today. But so when I get thrown back into the second time to foster system, which is when I started having memories, I had my sister with me, and my sister was just under 2 years old. I was made very aware that everyone wanted to adopt my sister, but that I was too old. So they were right away trying to separate us. And for me, I acted out a lot. I wanted to do anything I could. I wanted to be with my sister. Like, I was losing everybody. I didn't want to be taken away from my sister also, And so sometimes I would act out. Anything that I could do that would put me back into the center, because every time I knew when I got put to that center, my sister would be brought back there with me. So I'm not sure why or how that worked. Again, this is like 80s, early 90s, but that happened. And so I would be very, very, very bad so that I could go back to the center and be with my sister. Now, something that is put into our heads, and I know these boys are probably hearing the same things. At 5 years old, we have more as humans, we gain memory, right? And when we have memories of horrible and traumatic things, we are going to need a lot of help mentally, right? And so that means going to doctors, and essentially we're considered special needs because we have all of this things that we'd have to do, therapy a couple times a week and all of these things to do that you wouldn't have to do with a child that has no memories and just thinks life is great, you know? And my problem with people rejoicing about the Wells boys being in the system is that they are all over the age of 5. And so I know it is hard for them. And I know that it's going to be even harder to try. Let's say Don and Candus do not get them back. The likelihood of these boys all staying together isn't high. And if anyone thinks that that is good for the boys, they are sadly mistaken. Sadly mistaken. And I'm not saying that they should be with Don and Candus when it's not a good place for them to be right now in time, but I'm saying the people so excited they really should just like take several seats seriously, because you wouldn't wish foster care like on your worst enemy, I don't think. So anyways, getting back to the boys and their age ranges concerns me because I already feel like from my experiences already, I know that they will not all three stay together unless there's one real good-hearted person. And again, I'm reminding people that is few and far between that, are actual foster parents. So when I was thrown back in with my sister, we bounced around from house to house. And basically a house could say like, Cher didn't put the toilet seat down. That made me mad. Like, I don't want her anymore. There is families that would actually hold that against me. Like one phone call. I make one call, you're gone, you know? And when there's homes that have biological children and you are put into that, I'm telling you, the bullying that you receive is on a whole nother level. Because you get bullied because biological children, 9 times out of 10, feel that, well, we are the real children. You're just a child. Like my parents are doing this of the goodness of their heart. You're just like, you're a pity case. And I've talked to many, many, many people in my time who share the same experiences that I do. And so again, another reason why I cannot be excited that the boys are in the system. Now, girls and boys go through this, but I'll tell you guys why I was put into the system to begin with. My dad originally went to jail for some time for fighting. Again, he was 16 when I was born. My mom was 17. And so he was fighting. He was in and out of jail all the time. My mom did a lot of drugs, a lot of drugs. And when my dad would go to jail, my mom would have different men over and doing drugs. And my mom didn't have money to pay for drugs. And so she would let men come sneak into my room with me so she could do her drugs. Okay. So that leads to I get taken away from my mom the first time. And that also happened the second time, but then I had a baby sister. My dad comes out of prison and I am out of the system because my mom cleaned up her act. My mom got me back when my dad got back from jail. My dad was never really big at that time into drugs, but he did drink and he sure loved to fight. And so that, got him in a lot of trouble. And then, so my dad got out of prison or jail. At that time, it was just jail. And my mom cleaned up her act. And my dad then was drinking with my mom, got in a huge fight, and she called the police on him. And he went to jail, what I think was like overnight, but now I know it was actually for a while because he was already in trouble, um, and not supposed to be in any more trouble. And my mom would, what I know now, hold that over my dad and, keep wanting to call him in anytime basically she was upset with him or, they were fighting. So there's that. And what got me put into the system for good, and even a name change and everything like that, and we'll get into that and why family members was not allowed to adopt me, which will be the same case for the Wells children. I have no doubt about it. When my dad got back out of jail, he had realized what my mom was doing and found out that a couple of his buddies was sleeping with my mom, keeping my mom doped up, and sneaking into my room. So my dad, he had what they call a mental break, and he went to these people, their house, and tied them up to kitchen chairs in their kitchen, and he set them and the house on fire. And he killed those three people. And he did not run or hide or try to do anything. And yes, this is going around. I know some of you guys have heard this, and I've had other people hold this. I'm like shaking so bad inside right now, like it's wow, like right here. Um, Anyways, people have been holding this over my head, so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna say my story, okay? Um, so there's that. Got put back into the system, for good with my sister. And that's when everyone was trying to separate us. My sister being under 2 years old, me being about 5 or 6 years old. Because part of the reason I got put back with my parents, by the way, is the scar that runs across my forehead is from a accident. And I was in a foster home that wasn't taking good care of us and had a bunch of foster kids in a dark alley out at the bars in the middle of the night. I was ran over by a drunk motorcyclist, and that's the scar across my head. And so, yes, my parents, they cleaned up their act. And because of that accident happening while I was in the system, I got put back. And anyways, we bounced around. I can't even tell you how many, like 100 is probably like putting it lightly, hundreds of homes. Because, like I said, if I did anything wrong, they would just be like, one phone call, one phone call, you're gone. And so, yeah, we would bounce around. But a lot of homes wanted to keep my sister. I'm like, I'm nervous to talk about everything. So, in the foster homes, you will have biological kids. So we'll go with my experiences because I can't speak for what the Wells boys are going through. We'll just stick to what my experiences are. And then, you guys can just use your imaginations from there on what these boys are more than likely going through. I would have foster brothers play hide and go seek with me or have me go hide in a dark room, play hide and go seek with me and molest me and rape me. And I would be told, if you say anything, you're just going to go to another home. Like if you say anything, I'm just going to say like you're a liar and you're going to get sent to another home. And this would happen time and time again. And when you hear people saying that one of Don's sons has SA tendencies, I don't think that's what they mean. Oh my gosh, thanks, Benny. I got hubby here and the brother on panel. Okay, so I don't think that's what they mean, like SA tendencies. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say, because of the sexual abuse I went through from basically birth on, I did inappropriate things because I didn't know no better at 5 or 6 years old. I absolutely would touch people's private areas and think it's normal. And so I think that's what they mean. And I don't think that's SA tendencies. I really think that's unfair. I think it's, as I've been trying to say, people ignore, like, Don was born into something. You know what I'm saying? So your mind, when you're taught these things, doesn't know that it's wrong. I'm excuse me, like, hold my hand. So, and I laugh when I'm nervous, you guys. I'm like shaking like a chihuahua right now. But these things would happen time and time again. And I've been in group homes where there's boys that are foster care too, and same thing, being molested and told, like, you say anything. And when you're a kid and you get put in a house where you like, maybe it's somewhat normal, you know, you're getting 3 meals a day, because that's another thing. I was starved as a child. I didn't get 3 meals a day. I barely got 3 meals probably a week. Like, there was times where my sister or I got to eat in a day, and I would always give my food to my sister. There was times I'd get in trouble and the police would come because we were caught dumpster diving and things like that. So um, to all you people making jabs and everything about me being like a meth head and all that, I've just always been very skinny and always had issues with food. And I've been hospitalized for multiple eating disorders. So thank you for that, by the way. I hope you learned something today, and, you know, watch what you say on a keyboard. And so, you know, I don't know for sure that the boys are going through this. I can, again, just say what my experiences are in the States and in Canada, bouncing around different foster homes. When you are a child, from my experience, when you get put in a home and there's several kids sometimes in these homes, and maybe you fall in love with 2 or 3 of these kids, or you fall in love with, there's a family dog there, or you fall in love with there being what's it called, like a routine, like you fall in love with,
Structure.
yeah, structure. Yes, thank you. You fall in love with there being somewhat of structure and other children your age, because you're also being kept from school when you're in those kinds of homes, and stuff like that, or you're being homeschooled to hide certain things and stuff like that. So, you know, you kind of go along with things that you know is wrong and stuff like that, but you go along with it because you're like, well, shit, I don't want to be sent to another home. I don't want to move again. Like, I don't want that. Okay, we can play hide and go seek again, Eric. Like, sure, you know, these things happen, you guys, and I don't understand why people are so excited these boys are in the system. It is not better. What
Yeah,
would be
where do you
better
think
is,
all the
yeah,
unfit kids get pulled into that system? So those boys are put into a system with all the
mhm.
troubled kids as well.
Yes, yes. And yeah, you are basically told as a child, you're not told it, but you hear what all these adults are saying. And so what I picked up, I knew at 7 years old, I was telling people I'm damaged goods. Literally the words out of my mouth. I'm damaged goods. I might, you know what I mean? So you guys, we have to do better, because these kids are going to get online and see these things. And I promise you, they do not feel like they are in a better spot. I'll start paying attention to chat now, but yes, as you can, like, I've gone through everything, and that leads to bad relationship choices, bad men, because you grow up seeing this and thinking, like, this is normal, this is okay. Like, well, he hits me, he loves me. That's love, because he's staying with me, though. Like, he's a hardworking person or whatever, and, you know, but he's staying with me. He's not leaving me. That's love. He can hit me as long as he stays with me. Do you see what I'm saying? And these boys will go through that and have the same thoughts and feelings, because I'm sorry, but men get beat too. Women beat up on men too. Yes. Absolutely, women
So
can be predators too.
these boys start thinking, some kind of way, how kids do. They feel like it's their fault, you know. And when the kid feels like what's going on in their life with their parental family unit is their fault, that's a crazy type of pressure that they put on themselves as children, you know.
Mhm. Listen, I'm not saying they go take them from healthy homes. That's not what I'm saying. But what people should be endorsing and what people should be wanting is these parents to get cleaned up and want to have their children back. Yes, we can't force them to do these things, but this is what we should be hoping and praying for. We should be hoping and praying that that Candace and Don will be able to mentally heal from their own past, you guys. They weren't given the proper tools to be the proper parents. They weren't taught properly at all. Like, not one bit were they ever given the proper tools to know how to parent properly themselves. That's what we should want for these kids, is for mom and dad to get better, mom and dad to heal from their past traumas, everybody to heal together. And I'm going to tell you right now, no, they don't necessarily take kids from healthy homes and healthy environments, but I promise you they absolutely do place children in unhealthy homes and environments. They absolutely place people and children in homes that are sometimes worse than the environment that they come from. And this is true for me. Like, for my situation, my mom never personally hurt me. My mother has never personally laid a finger on me, but she let her boyfriends do all that. I've had to have soap in my mouth while my hands are tied behind my back while kneeling on rice. And if I spit anything out of my mouth, well, I get more soap and I get 10 whoopings from a belt. I've had a knife held to my throat, guns held to my head. At a very, very, very young age, I've, I mean, you name it, it's happened to me. And the same things and even worse things have happened in foster system, in homes that I've been placed in. I have been assaulted. I have been raped. I have been tortured. I've had cigarettes put out in me. I have been put out to the couch and fed Red Bulls and sugar candy and made to stay up all night with all of the kids in the house watching nothing but Freddy Krueger movies, where I am now a 37-year-old woman and I cannot watch a Freddy movie without having serious nightmares. Thank you, Archie. And yes, if you guys could continue with the trigger warnings, please. Now that led to when I was about 8 years old, I was placed into a home where my sister was also welcome. And no family members were able to adopt me because it was such a fucked up situation that my parents had actually, my mom, sorry, and her sick ass boyfriends, because my father in prison in British Columbia, but my mom had kidnapped me. And the thing about me being older is I had visits with my mom, right? So at first I was allowed to go on visits as long as a social worker was there. And so I got older and older. I knew where my grandma lived, where my mom lived. I knew where they shopped. I knew their favorite place to eat. I knew all these places, and I lived in the same town as them. There was times where I would run away from church and I'd be at my grandma's apartment building where there's 20 different buildings in the complex there in London, and I'd be buzzing every buzzer, just hoping one of them was going to be my grandma. And it got to the point where I would run into my mom at Sears, and she would hide in the bathroom and have me, come into the bathroom, come into the bathroom. I'd go into the bathroom and we would make a plan where she was coming to pick me up later that night or the next day or whatever. So I would help my mom plan to kidnap me. And that led to no way in hell was I ever going to be allowed to be with a blood family member, which is fine because not many of them anyway were good to be with anyway. So that led to a name change for me and my sister and being placed in a home that later moved to the States when I was 15. And a year after moving to the States, I was quickly kicked out of that home. There was no more money coming in for me, and yeah, just a lot of issues. So I wasn't, you know, I wasn't the person that they wanted me to be, I guess. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But anyway, so 19, I actually at 16, right about the time of being kicked out of this place, met my daughter's father. Very, very bad man, very, very abusive. And at 19 years old, I had my first child with him, as well as took legal guardianship of my baby sister. So I had a lot on my plate. And my sister won't have the same experiences as me because her life was actually better because she was a baby. Everyone wants a baby. And in foster system, that's just not what's happening. You will be timed out for spamming the comments. Yes, Dalen. Thank you. It's heartbreaking, I guess, but it's something I've always wanted to share. Unfortunately, I've had people hanging it over my head recently, so I might as well share it myself. And also, I want to bring awareness to it because I am not happy that the boys are in the system. I'm not. I can't be with what I know of it. I don't know, Benny, what do you think?
I'm just here to support, and I'm listening.
You're listening? Okay. You know what it should be? Okay, I'm looking at chat for some questions. Now I will bring up too that I have dealt with suicide myself. I have been getting a lot of comments, and you guys know who you are. I've screenshotted some. I will actually post them because they were reported as well. But I actually have comments, people leaving me comments telling me different ways to kill myself. And you're very, very lucky that I'm 37 years old and that I have 4 children and now an awesome husband that I know are worth living for. And that would be very, very selfish of me to do and to take me, like my kids would, they would hate me for that. So that would be suicide, in my opinion, is selfish. Okay. So they're lucky that I'm the person I am today. Right before I got kicked out of this group home, before meeting my girls' father, I was a part of a suicide pact. And there was 3 of us. And I took 90 pills, a mix of amphetamine, that diet pill that's not allowed to be sold. And it was a bunch of different kinds of pills, but I took 80 to 90 pills that day along with 3 other friends. And we all sat there, sorry, 2 other friends, because there was only 3 of us that did this. All 3 of us came from the system. The one girl, I won't name them, the one girl, she lived with her grandparents because her mom wanted to be a partier, just didn't care. So her grandparents raised her. And the other girl is the same. Her dad kind of took her on, but her dad kind of did whatever. And so she, what we all thought, had the best life as a teenager because she could do whatever she wanted. She never had any parents around, but knowing now that her parents they abandoned her and, they didn't care for her. So we all had the same situation going on, the same feelings. And we all really just thought, well, we love each other. We're going to, be together in heaven. And, we're not needed in the world anyway. Like, we won't be missed, is how we felt. And so we tried to die that day, and I almost did. If it wasn't for one nurse that continued to beat my ass in the hospital. She slapped the shit out of me, you guys. And the reason why is I grabbed her the one time and I was like, you stop. Like, what are you doing? And she said, if you close your eyes, you're dead. And I'll never forget that. It's the only time I'm okay with getting my ass whipped. And again, I know people will come for me for giggling and laughing, but it's just me. I'm nervous. I don't care. I'm sorry that it may make people feel some sort of way, but I'm nervous. And if you could see me and feel my heart right now, I'm shaking like a chihuahua. But yeah, when I didn't, I always knew like maybe I was wrong, right? Maybe I do have a purpose. And that kind of led to my channel as well. Voices Behind the Wall. Yes, they do fall through the cracks. You're right. And I would say the likelihood of you getting placed in a really good foster home that's going to adopt you and actually like be a better situation for you or for a child in the system, I'm going to probably say, I'm going to be generous and say maybe 2 or 3 times out of 10 that will happen, but that's not my experience. I'll tell you that. Thanks, Jennifer. And I am meant, I have a purpose because even after trying to kill myself, I didn't live, everyone makes fun of my teeth. Yes, I dabbled in drugs. I lived a rough life. I've never touched meth, though. I've never done heroin, nothing like that. But, well, I guess if depending on the ecstasy, I have tried ecstasy. I've done ecstasy. I've done shrooms. I have done coke several times, and I was an alcoholic. And then, of course, many, 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 many different kinds of pills and fentanyl. But my main thing was throwing up and doing nothing but making myself throw up and drink. And so the acid and drinking and drugs, as well as body piercings, scraping off all my enamel, fucked up my teeth. So there's that. But I'm going to be honest. I'm a human. I have dabbled in drugs. I have, and was an alcoholic until about 11 years ago. Now I can have a drink, and I know my limit, and I know like I can have 2 or 3 drinks and I'm fine, or I maybe am drunk like 3 times a year. But before that, little me was drinking a 175 of Captain Morgan rum like every 24 hours to myself. I was drinking from wake up to pass out. Giggle when you're nervous too, Jan? Yeah, it's a thing. I don't know. I think I'm part Chihuahua. No, Jay, we aren't defined by our past. And I have to constantly remind myself of that. And part of the reason of me sharing all of these things is because, no, I do not want pity. I do not care for that. I am not trying to be a victim because I actually consider myself a survivor. And, these boys, we should want their parents to get help. I understand Don has a bad past. I understand Candace has a bad past. But I feel like we should be wishing that they get proper help and support. They never had a chance at breaking the cycle, you guys. But these boys do. These boys have a chance. And I hope to God summer. Self-medicating the pain. these 3 boys have a very fair shot at breaking this cycle that they were born into. And to be honest, I don't think it's too late for Don and Candus either. I don't know what or if they're guilty of anything, but we should still want them to get the proper mental help that they need, because let's say they are guilty of something. Let's say that. It's not up to us to say that these boys still don't want a relationship with their parents.
Correct.
For the sake of these kids, we should want proper help for Don and Candus, because they are still the parents of them. And they are older. They know who their mom and dad are. They know who their grandma is. There is no changing that for them now. And if I had to guess, they are probably going to want, and I don't know what they have suffered of abuse or not. That's not for me. I don't know. Okay. But it's probably a really good shot that they still want a relationship with their parents, even after everything that they've been through. Because I still tried. It wasn't until I was in my 20s where I finally said, like, I don't know. I basically told my mom never to contact me again. She tried to cross the border to come and whoop my ass because I wouldn't give her money. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you guys just don't even know. The whole animal abuse charge on me, I live every day for, but it's because I had nobody to trust. I had to put my trust in somebody to care for my home and my animals that, yeah, I knew probably wasn't the best choice, but I don't have choices like everybody else has, or most people have. I don't have that mom and dad to run to. I don't have that cousin. I don't have that uncle. I don't have that. So yes, I took charges for something I did not do. And if people took the time to actually read those reports, as much time as they took to bash me about them, you would see I wasn't even there and that the police couldn't even find me to serve me the papers. You would see those animals were starved to death, not dead, still alive and lived. You would see that they were starving from not having food because they were left in the heat. Not because I was there beating up animals, but because the person I put in charge of my animals at my house took off to Mexico. Now, I'm aware people have looked up my father and pulled the charges, and yes, they're going to say, oh, but there's more than 3 people he killed. Yes, that is true. I will just say it. My dad did kill a 4th person. He stabbed somebody in the face. Now, why did he do that? He did that because he was let out of prison after 17 years, 14 to 17 years. I don't remember exactly. He was let out, and because he's mentally unstable. And if you guys Google Kamloops prison in British Columbia, unfortunately, they let very bad people out of prison because it's always overflowing. And so very, very bad people are let go when they shouldn't be. Now, the reason I do not speak to my father anymore, because I was writing him in prison and everything, is because he did get out about, what year are we on? 2021, 19, 18, in about 2017 or 18, he did get out of prison, and he stabbed somebody in their face, and that person died, which, I mean, I'll admit it, my dad did it on purpose. My dad told everybody at the prison he didn't want to be released. He grew up in there. He was thrown in prison at 17 years old. And so he's institutionalized. And he told everyone, I don't want to get out. In fact, he was starting fights in the prison. He was doing everything that he could to try and stay there. And they let him out because that's how prisons work, right? They don't just listen to you like, hey, I don't, like, it's not a hotel. You can't just say, like, I want to stay longer. And so he did that so that he would be sent back. And I don't know what to tell you or the people that want to hold my dad's doings over my head. I can't control that. But I did tell my dad years ago that, if you go back, I can't have contact with you because I can't justify that. I don't want to tell my kids these things about you. And so, yeah, that happened. He didn't listen. And it made me mad because I hunted my own dad down. You know what I'm saying? And I found him and started contact with him again while he was in prison when I was older and a parent and everything. Because I understood what he did. And I still saw him as my dad, So I didn't fault him for that. But now what he did now, I fault him for that. And I begged him not to do that and not to go back. But honestly, you guys will never understand growing up in prison, like, and he's telling people, like, don't let me out. And he told me, Cher, I'm better off in prison where I'm safe and people are safe. That is very fucked up, you guys. That is that's institutionalized, like, to the fullest. And I don't think Don's there. I don't think he's institutionalized. I think, honestly, I hope that they had nothing to do in Summer's disappearance. And either way, I think everybody should be really coming together and praying and wanting them to get help. We should want the best for Don and Candus's sons, and the best for them would be for them to have healthy parents, whether they are with those parents or not. That's what we should all want. I am gonna open this panel up for people to come up. But you are going to have your camera on for me to see you before I will allow you to come up on here. Because if anyone really wants to try and ruin the show tonight, I mean, there's just a real special place in hell for you.
Absolutely.
And I want to say again, this is not for me. I don't need anybody like, oh, poor Cher, whatever. I love you guys. Thank you. But I'm using my experience to hopefully shed light on something to people. That's honestly what I want, not pity or anything like that. I want to try and use my experience to, I don't know, help in some way. Fearless, can you turn your camera on for a second? No, I'll have to see your face. Okay, thank you. You can turn it off. Okay. All right. Let me get me off of the bigger screen here. There we go. Okay. Hey, Fearless.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I just want to say that you're a strong person.
Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you for
Now,
that.
I have a story to tell you, and I want you to understand it.
Okay.
I have two nephews and a niece,
Mm-hmm.
and their mother abandoned them, and
Mm.
I raised every one of them, and I'm raising my niece now. I started raising my oldest nephew at 14 years old,
Wow.
and I starved to feed him. So then I went through, and when I was 19, I took a job at a steel mill. And, I still had to feed him and my other nephew by that point. And I lost part of my hand.
Mm.
So I was on workers' comp for a while, and well, my sister came back, took the kids, and then started her cycle again. Well, by that point, I had moved to a different town, and I ended up having to come back and raise them again. So I had to take a job that I wasn't even supposed to go to because I'm disabled. And by that point, I had developed PTSD.
Oh,
And I worked through it to raise these kids. And then my niece was born. Well, she is 16 now, and she's made the choice because her mother abandoned her. She tried to get what's that called when emancipated?
Emancipated, yes.
mm-hmm. Yep.
But in the state that we're in, she cannot do that. So me and my mother have taken the steps to get custody of her. She is 16. She has PCOS. Her mother abandoned her.
You can turn your camera off if you want now. Sorry.
And didn't give her proper medical treatment. She's losing her hair. She's overweight.
Hmm.
And she left. When she left her, she took her Social Security card, so it's hard to get her medical. But we're working on it, and
Oh my
she
God.
got her Social Security card today. So the next step is we're going to take her to a doctor. And I don't know, it's been a rough road for these kids.
Yeah, you are very strong, by the way, and I don't know if anyone thanks you for what you're doing, but
No,
thank you
absolutely not.
because
Thank you, girl.
thank you.
The boys have used me.
Oh,
Now when I don't have anything for them, they want nothing to do with me.
oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
And I never wanted to be their mother. I only wanted to be their aunt, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But they have said to me before, "You're not my mother. You can't tell me what to do." But here I am, killing myself to take care of you, you know.
Hmm.
But that's okay, because that's what I wanted to do. I did not want them to go through the system.
Oh
But now
my
I'm
God.
also raising my own son with my niece because I know what the system can do to children. I know that. And you have done a good job of telling that. But for the people that don't have somebody,
Mm-hmm. And
I
look at
feel
you
bad
guys,
for them.
just her story too. Like, look at what it does. This isn't better.
No, it isn't. But, you know, what I don't understand is like I tried to help my sister. I tried so hard to help her get help because she's bad into drugs. The only thing I could do was help her children.
That's the I mean, that's the best thing. She's so lucky to have you. And
But
again,
but
thank you.
but she tells me they're not your children. I don't know why you act like their mother. I don't know why you think you can tell everybody what to do and why you think you're so smart. Well, you know what? I was 14 and raised your children, and you were how old?
Right.
She was 19, 20 years old, and she didn't know how to do it because she didn't care to know.
A mother isn't mean like it's not just pushing a child out of your body. A mother means you're there for them and you are teaching them in life. So you absolutely have every right to say that you're their mother because you are.
And then the
She doesn't
saddest
have
part
the right to
about
tell
it,
you that.
the saddest part about it is when she got her boys back, they were teenagers by that point. She fed them drugs, and then I had to deal with that.
Oh no.
My oldest nephew overdosed when he was 18. He almost died. And I had to sit there and watch that. I raised him, you know. And who was there to pick him up when he was having seizures and dying in my arms? It was me.
I am so sorry. Thank you for feeling
But
comfortable and safe to share your story with us tonight, though.
you know what?
Hmm.
I'm hurt. That's why I'm crying. But
It's okay.
I made the choice to help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of the family members trying to do what they're doing to these children by making it a big drama, a big scene
Mm-hmm.
for their parents, that's not the right thing. Why all of a sudden, if all this happened in the past, why wasn't it brought up in the past? Why now? To save Summer. I understand that. But then instead of letting the system take those boys, why don't you take them in?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Why
Yeah.
didn't they take them in and help the boys? That's
Um.
that's what I
Yeah.
don't understand about this whole thing. Like they're
So.
coming out saying that they came out for Summer and said these things because of Summer. I understand that, but once you say it, then go to the system and tell them, I will take care of those boys. I will make it better for them.
No.
Instead of,
Maybe they
but
don't want them. So, like, now I hear that they are kind of like several hours away.
it
It
don't
could
matter
be
though.
a situation like me where maybe they feel like, I don't know, because I don't think Don and Candace would go kidnap their kids back, but maybe they were concerned that Candace would go and try and take them back. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. But if, just saying, because my sister right now, if she were to try to take my niece, she has no
Amber, can
grounds.
you unmute? Sorry, or I'm trying to unmute you, but it's not working. Okay.
She has no grounds to stand on because on top of her abandoning her with PCOS, she took her out of school in 2017 and she ain't been back. We're trying to get her in school too.
Mm. Wow. You are very, very strong. Melody, thank you for that. I was essayed by my dad and married a man who beat and raped me. I got therapy and ended the cycle. Don and Candace and the boys need therapy to end the cycle. Amen, Melody. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for that. And yes, it's not too late to break the cycle. It absolutely is not. And that's what everyone should be pushing for. Absolutely.
But I just wanted to let you know that you're strong. But sometimes there are people out there that do want to help. And I'm not saying in your situation there was anyone that could have helped you. But if I would have been there, I would have helped you.
Thank you for sharing. And you are 4 times as strong as me, let me tell you. And you're right. And I don't mean to say, and it's not every home. It isn't.
I know.
But
I know that you were trying to put your story out there to help, to break a cycle. I get it. But also there are different situations and
yeah, yes,
everybody
absolutely.
needs to listen to different situations instead of just jumping out and judging people.
Mhm.
It's not right. And Cher, you know who I am.
I think so.
Yeah,
Oh, I do.
you do.
Okay. Wait, does it start with A?
Yep.
I knew it. Okay, now when you said that, I recognized the voice.
But if, like, when I'm talking, if I pause, I have to catch my thoughts because I do not take medication for my PTSD.
Okay.
I
Carissa, you're
refuse.
good, hon. You can turn the camera off if you want.
I don't. I refuse to take medication for anything like that.
Yeah.
because
Shonda, you're good. You can turn the camera off if you want.
I've learned how to control the PTSD myself.
Hi,
Because
Carissa. Hi, Sandra.
the medication I was taking wanted me to. I wanted to commit suicide,
Mm,
and I knew I couldn't because of the voids.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm gonna go get your chocolate. It's hot. You fine? No, go. You? But I'm gonna get off here.
Oh, okay. Thank you for sharing. Now we
You're
lost one. Oh, hey, Shonda. Now we lost one. There. Oh, you can turn your camera off if you want checking or not. You look beautiful. Shonda, can you hear?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, now I can. There. Oh, you can turn your camera off if you want checking or not. You look beautiful.
I just wanted to ask you, someone else talking. Sorry.
No, sorry, there's checking. I took you out for a second. If you could turn the YouTube part off. Okay, go ahead, Chanda. Sorry about that.
I just wanted to quickly ask you if you built any good relationships along the way with like different DCS, CPS workers, your foster families, anybody.
Yeah, a couple in, multiple different foster families. But the last one I was in, I don't speak to anybody, honestly, from that family. They actually had other children taken away from them, and yeah, just a big mess. And we're actually pretty abusive. But I did, my social worker, I ended up really falling in love with, and I actually got to speak to her several years ago now, but it was really nice. She impacted my life a lot. My first Cabbage Patch Kid was named after her, Danielle, and I'll never forget the first officer. I wish I could find him again. But the bonds that I have made along the way, typically are people who have gone through a very rough past themselves. And yeah, I'd say the family I've created for myself, um, by heart, has been just people I've met throughout my journey that have their own fucked up past. And um, yeah, typically someone who's been through something and that can relate. I think she left.
I think we lost her.
There she is. Oh, checking. You can turn your camera off if you want. There you go. Oh, Carissa, you can turn your camera off if you want. And I'm going to add you right now, Carissa.
Miss Shayer,
Yes.
Wait, whoa.
I have a question for you and
Cam,
Mr. Benny.
that one. Yay. Go ahead, whoever had a question.
Yep,
I don't
go
have
ahead.
a question. I'm just going to talk. Okay. Hi, Cher. I got to tell you that this is really great of you to do, considering that you have been trashed up and down, all around. You don't deserve it. Actually, nobody deserves to be trashed. There's a limit on what you do behind a keyboard. I've said some mean things and it eats me away. Honestly, it really does. But to hear you be so strong and get on here and say your story after all of that, oh man, props to you and every single person that's here that can relate, because I really can relate to what you're talking about. I've been through the whole thing. I also had a husband who was a murderer. Okay. He went to prison. So I've been through a lot. I should write a book, but I just wanted to come on and tell you that I envy your strength. I too consider myself a survivor.
I love that.
I'm not a victim. I broke the chain with myself. I was in group homes where they would, if you'd run away, they stripped all your clothes off of you and you had to sit in the middle of the dining room with everybody. And I'm 12 and 13 years old. Okay. So I'm a developed girl. Okay. And I'm sitting naked in a dining room of this huge home. And this was okay. Boys too, same thing, and we already had come from places of abuse. I was abused and beat by my stepfather, and my biological father, I don't know who he is. My mother was raped. So the father that I had was also a rapist, and he went to prison. And you're from Minnesota, you know where St. Peter's is, the nut ward. My father was there all my life. I never had a relationship with him. The stepfather I had was a provider, and mom didn't want to lose that after trying to raise two kids. She had a nice home, and we were second class, middle class, whatever you call it, but I grew up paycheck poor. I was picked on, and all that stuff, and tons more. I could go on forever. The story is very long, but because I'm an old lady, but I stopped it. I stopped it, and I'm stronger for it. I took all that pain and I made it me be a giver. And all of us that have been hurt like that are givers. We are givers. We are givers and givers and givers to our own demise. We're givers.
You got that right.
We let people step on us, and we give them another chance because we believe in change, because we've had it. So nobody is too far gone. I don't know why people say, I don't know if they still can do this. Maybe they won't do it in time to get their children, which I pray they could, but it's never too late to change.
Right.
Never. And you've got to give that to somebody, no matter what they're doing. They always say you're not defined by your past. Well, you really kind of are. People throw it at you, and what you do with it is up to you. And to me, I took all that and I just made me a better person.
I love that you said that, because there's something I used to always tell a certain person in a different case, in the Watts case, and I always would tell him, like, choose to be a survivor.
Yeah.
Like, be a survivor. Don't be a victim anymore. Be a survivor. Because yes, you choose that. You have to choose that, and that's when the cycle is broken. You're good, lean on. You can turn your camera off on if you want to. You're beautiful. You can leave it on. But
yeah.
And that's exactly why I didn't mind sharing. Yeah, it gave me anxiety and everything. I'm calmer now, actually, with everyone sharing their story. Thank you for that. But it's, if they're going to use everything against me anyway, then whatever. And I tell people, like, I know what they want. They want to bully me, pick me until I
disappear,
silence myself, or I disappear. But I've said it a million times, and I'm going to say it again. I have literally danced with the devil.
Yep. I'm
agree. Going nowhere. I have a round trip ticket to hell and back.
I've been to hell. I lived.
So, AB, I'm going nowhere.
Hey.
All of my haters, I'm going nowhere.
Let them be your motivators. Okay.
Oh, they are. It hurts sometimes. It does.
Sure,
but
it does.
I'm still here.
It hurts. And you know why it hurts? Because you care.
Yeah.
You're always going to be a caring person. People of abuse and that have had to survive on their own and depend on nobody but their self in situations that nobody really wants to talk about or even think about.
Mm-hmm.
You come through that and you realize that it isn't you, and you don't take responsibility for what that abuser did to you, and you tell them you take your trash back. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
and we're always told, even as a kid through the foster system, you're told, just be quiet. Just be quiet. Shush,
Oh yeah.
just be quiet. You're like, we don't need to talk about that. And I never understood that. Even when I got ran over by a motorcycle, this one foster family forced me to have bangs to cover up my scar. And I would get in trouble every time I would put my bangs to the side. I like my scar. I wanted to show my scar. I was like, dude, I was ran over by a motorcycle. I'm supposed to be a vegetable for the rest of my life. And
That's a
like,
cool scar.
That's
you
right.
know?
I
And
got
so
Yeah,
scars too.
that's
I
badass.
was always
I'm
told, like,
sorry, I love your scar.
thanks,
I want
guys.
one.
Listen,
I've
you
been,
know when you
they make fun of me and say I've been scalped and all that, or whatever they say on here. It's whatever. But
sometimes your what they call damaged marks are your shining
damaged goods,
star.
yeah,
Your
whatever.
shining star. I got baggage for days, man. You need one of them hotel carts to put mine on, okay? To push it through.
I'm
Honestly.
still working on getting you unblocked, by the way. I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening.
worry
It's
about
weird.
it. You know I watch you anyway, even if I'm not in the chat. I watch you. I do. And I admire what you're doing. Honestly do. But when you said, now this is it to me, it clicks so much because I remember it. When you're in a home and you're a foster child and you get put in a home where they have their own children, forget it. You're a piece of shit. You're getting the worst
done.
of everything. You get blamed for everything because they don't
everything.
believe
All of
you.
the blame goes on you.
Yes,
And
everything they do, they would do things on purpose just to fucking get me in trouble.
It's like hazing, but it's your real life all the time. Like that's supposed to be your home and your family, but
Right.
you're being hazed every day.
Right. And then you see these younger kids come into the same home and they come from abuse. And I remember these two twin little black boys that came in. They were so cute and so loving. And I don't know what prejudice is. I never even grew up with it. This lady was prejudiced and she would call them the worst names and smack them in the face. And I just cried. I ran away. Even though I knew I would be in trouble for running away. I couldn't stand there and watch that. You know, it killed me. And they get away with it because you're a paycheck.
Tammy, I love you.
About you.
See, and people say, "Oh, you don't get paid enough to take a foster care." A lot of times, people don't care. It's trashy families. Sorry, but it's like they literally they don't care. Paycheck is a paycheck to these people, and a lot of times
you ain't getting that money that they're getting.
Yeah,
Believe me, you ain't getting new clothes.
Exactly.
You ain't got a clothes. You get a clothes allowance. You ain't getting that. You got a school allowance. You ain't getting that.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact, several of the homes were out drinking my foster money away. So
no, mine was going to the family kids. So
that happened too. Or I get hand-me-downs, and then the biological kids got all new everything.
Yeah, I got their shit.
Yep.
And they got my new stuff because I got a clothes allowance.
So we got Carissa and Lean on Me up here. Carissa, hello.
Hello, beautiful. How are you?
Oh my gosh, thank you. I'm not beautiful, but I'm doing well.
Bullshit. Listen, honey. I got a filter on my picture. A filter. So, yeah.
All I have is
you're
an
beautiful,
ear.
okay? And don't be ashamed of your teeth, honey. At least do it like me. I'm a decency. And yes, I got one of my front teeth missing. All right, honey. You're beautiful, Cher. Stop. It doesn't matter what you look like. You're a beautiful person.
Your heart is pretty.
Your heart is everything about you is beautiful.
I agree.
I appreciate that, you guys. Thank you.
Who's talking with me? I'm sorry.
Lean on me.
Lean on me.
Okay. I'm gonna speak about my experience real fast. I'm sorry, Cher.
You're fine. I'm gonna have to walk outside. My dogs are starting.
I'm just saying. I missed half of your live tonight, and I just want to say, I'm a mother of 4. Okay, in East Tennessee, in Carter County, Tennessee. I have 4 kids. Single mother of 4. In 2019, I lost all 4 of my kids. You want to know what I lost them for? A DUI.
Oh my gosh.
All right. My kids were at home with my mother, safe in their bed. In their bed, not my bed, not in the vehicle with me. All right. So they were safe. They were safe in their home, in their beds where they belonged. All right. I decided to go out and I got, yes, no, I'm not saying, okay, DUI is drinking and driving is stupid. That is not what I'm saying. But my kids are my life. All right. I'm just saying, East Tennessee around here, people around here judge people way too freaking much.
Mm-hmm.
Way too much. Way too much. By the way of people, oh, God dang it. I'm going to end up cussing and probably getting me kicked off. But Cher, listen, you're doing the right thing. You're trying to bring light to everything. I go back and forth with this situation with Don and Candus, but at the end of the day, I would be on their side, helping them get their boys back, because I believe every kid should be with their parent. I know my kids want to be with me. Today at 3:30, I was at the doctor with all 4 of my kids doing a physical. That's what a mom should do.
Thank you.
Especially when you don't have the help from their fathers. Yes, I say fathers. I'm sorry, y'all might think I'm a hoe. But yes, I was young. I had one, and then I had 2 more. And then,
Life
what, 4, 5, 6 years later, I had another.
I have 4 children with different dads, so.
So do I. Lean on me.
All right. So whatever. I mean, like, that's just how it is. I mean, I had
Thank
all
you,
4 of
Nelly.
my kids
Sorry,
from
guys. Thank you
15
for sharing the
to 6
self-help number.
at the doctor today. I mean, I care about. And yesterday was my birthday. I should have been out partying, right? But no. Decided to. I'm gonna shut up now. All right, Sherry, you're awesome. I love you. I'm gonna shut up.
Oh, well, thank you for coming up here.
Did I make any fucking sense tonight? No, I didn't. East Tennessee sucks. That's all I'm gonna say. East Tennessee sucks.
Oh, East Tennessee. Oh, yeah.
Honey, I'm in one county. I'm in Carter County, Tennessee. Yes, Hawkins County's right there.
Oh, wow. I heard you say East Tennessee earlier. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
one
sorry.
state over in Kentucky.
Are you?
I'm sure Kentucky sucks too, though.
Yeah.
I bet you United States, we all suck, don't we? I'm gonna go to Canada.
I'm proud to be an American myself.
Let's all go to Canada. That's what I'm gonna do. All right, hang me up. How do I do that?
Okay. Thanks, Carissa.
I love.
Oh, love you too. Lean on me. I made you big. There you go.
Okay. I just wanted to hop on and say, first of all, I wanted to apologize, Sherry. I had a couple of nasty comments, but not too nasty. I'm not like that. But just I said, oh no, don't let it be a cliffhanger that day.
Oh, yeah.
But I love you so much. I was just very confused on what was going on, but also I'm a survivor as well, and I'm proud of you for telling your story. And I grew up in a family with just a mother and her different boyfriends and husbands. And I remember one time I said, I have 6 daddies. And so I went through a lot of abuse and starvation and a bunch of different things. We had, like I said, there's 6 kids. At one time we went camping. I thought we were just on a camping trip, but we were homeless. And that's before my mom actually walked on out. When the oldest one got old enough to care for us, she left. But I'm so glad that CPS didn't come, because who knows where my siblings would be.
Yeah.
Or, because especially at a young age, everybody would have went different. Everybody would have got separated. I just know it for a fact. I just feel it, or fear it. But even I did make a lot of wrong decisions in life and stuff like that, but I'm so glad that we weren't separated. And I just wanted to say, even no matter what your parents do, you'll love them no matter what. And with Candace and Don get some help, they can be mother and father of the year. You know what I mean? They can overcome, they can heal. I don't, it don't matter if they done any wrong or not. They all still need counseling, every one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that if they could do that and get the boys back and jump through the hoops, because that's what it's going to feel like. They'll have
Yeah.
to jump through all the hoops and do everything right to get them kids back. But if they really truly want to, they will.
Yeah.
But counseling is going to be a part of it. And it's going to be very important. And
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that, and that people, please quit judging them, because you never know what somebody's gone through or what their past has been. And they, like Cher has said, they haven't had a chance. They were, sometimes people call it corrupt from the start. And now, and it's going to be their generation that can break the cycle. And their boys and kids will grow up to be perfect role model parents. When my kids were in high school, I broke my back and I got on drugs and I wouldn't get out of the bed and hardly ever left my room, and it just broke their hearts because they were so used to me getting out and going rollerblading and having fun and doing things like Candace does every single day. And then when it all stopped, it really affected the children.
Yeah.
And it took us a while to actually mend from that. But we did finally, but I still had to go to a lot of counseling and drug my kids right with me.
Yeah. You got to. Yeah.
And I ended up getting on those pain pills and all that. My clean date was 2012, June 10th. But I was just pretty much doctor prescribed and laying in the bed all the time. I know how it feels, and I've lost a child too, and I couldn't imagine what Candace is going through, because my daughter was only 15 hours old, and it was a complication at birth, and I just couldn't imagine knowing her or losing one of my kids that their personalities and all that. So my heart's with them, and I hope they get the healing and everything gets fixed. It's just so sad.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Carissa.
Oh, speaking of birthday, I share a birthday with Summer, and I just love it. I don't know if that's what drawn me to her so much or what. But we had birthday February 4th, and that's my birthday as well. And
Mr. Cher's February 24th.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know when it changes from Aquarius or whatever. I'm Aquarius, but
Nokia.
Aqua.
No, I'm gonna show her stuff again, you guys. I love showing her stuff off.
And I think I'm kin to you, Cher, because I'm still shaking.
You're shaking.
I'm still shaking.
I appreciate all of you guys coming up here, and Benny for being just, the supportive big brother.
I want to.
Everybody up here and sharing, and in the chat, even not on the panel, but in the chat sharing. You guys are awesome.
I just want to tell you one more thing. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just wanted to say the reason I call myself a survivor, or a lot of times I call it an overcomer, because I survived starvation, 2 house fires, a death of a child, multiple physical abuse, rape. I didn't mean to say that out loud, but and
Oh my
essay
goodness.
or whatever from just age 4
Hey,
on
hold
up.
on. Lean on me. I'm not
Yes.
gonna say your real name. Don't say whatever because you overcame that. Don't say if it was rape and you overcame rape, then you should be proud about that. You are a survivor. Don't say or essay or whatever.
Well, I don't want you. I don't know different channels.
No,
I'm glad you're
I
like
already did a trigger warning, but I want you to not like put it aside like it's nothing because it is.
Yeah,
That is
it is. And it wasn't just once. It's been at gunpoint, knife point. I'm a very
Mhm.
small frame person and soft spoken and kind of gullible when I was younger. And I think it was all part also how I was raised. And whenever I did tell my mom that things was going on, I was in trouble. And then like so then you experiment with your friends stay all night, you're touchy and stuff, girl or guy, it don't matter, because you don't know no better.
Mhm.
Until you're old enough to understand, you're just experimenting is what I always thought. I didn't look at it as a bad thing at all. Like, I knew it was wrong, but I didn't really look at it as bad. I was just like, am I gay?
Well,
you know? But I think a lot of girls go through that.
a lot
And
of girls that go through the system absolutely go through that. It's very normal.
hmm So it don't mean that you're a bad person, and then once you realize it's wrong, then my kids grew up to be very. I have two. My boys are iron workers, and my daughter's a mama, and I'm a granny,
Oh
uh,
wow.
and they just grew up so well, and I'm so proud of them. They went to college and stuff, and even though they didn't, none of them. I don't think none of them finished college, but they tried. But yeah, we done. I made sure, even though I grew up with no clothes and same things and hand-me-downs and all that stuff, we was very poor. I can remember having no water, no electric, a box of
Mhm.
spaghetti. We just chewed those noodles up and
That's a
cooked.
no. Yep. Yep.
And then when they hit the liquid in your belly, they swelled up. You got full.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I've overcome a lot, and but that's why I named myself Lean on Me, because everybody in the chat, if you find me on there, you can come and talk. If you just to chat or anything, if you ever need anybody, somebody just to ear. That's why I got a picture of my ear on there. I'm right here, and I won't judge you or nothing like that. Just if you ever just need somebody all hours of the night, I don't care. Because I always wish I had somebody to talk to other than my siblings that are judgy. So I just wanted to say that. But
I
yeah, and I
appreciate
love
you coming up
Benny's
here and
channel.
sharing.
I love what Benny's doing. I love what you're doing. And I like chasing truth. I have never been in this crime stuff, but this has
Nokia,
got
I'm
me.
gonna show off your stuff before I end it here.
I love how I think I'm going to be a true crimer
You
just to
know what?
listen. I love the true crime, but I'm scared of it too now because this is my
Oh,
first
don't be
case.
scared of it. There's good people in around true crime.
I've
There's
been running my mouth. I never run my mouth.
no, you're all good, but I'm gonna thank you for sharing, and I'll
Yes.
probably do more panels like this for people
Okay.
to, I don't know, we'll just call it therapy, I guess.
Yes. Well, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for sharing, and
Oh,
everyone that came up here, thank you so much for
and
sharing. You guys are
left from
strong.
Kentucky, and I'm making a heart shape for Summer and Candace and Don. If y'all are listening, I love you all. Bye.
Bye. Have a good night.
Bye. You as well. Thank you.
Oh, her voice is so sweet. So, um, lean on me. I don't think she said her real name, but thank you everybody that came up here and shared their story. And I'm sorry to the members. I didn't mean to ignore you. I was just letting people talk, trying not to interrupt. To all of the new members tonight, welcome to the Crazy Train. Woo woo! And thank you for sharing your stories, you guys, so much. And I'm smelling happy smells right now, actually, which cheers me up. Nokia has in the description her shop. These smells will like make you guys happy and smile. Sangria, the candle, Nokia. You can't see it right now very good. So I lit the candle last night. Was it last night? Or like 2 nights ago? The night before while we were live? And you said to leave it burn for 3 hours on the card, right? And anyway, I had it in here. I had it burning until this one right here decided to go and blow the candle out. And so I realized after the live the candle's blown out. And so I went to Mr. Share and I said, "Why did you blow the candle out?" And what'd you say?
I didn't.
And then what'd I say?
I can't remember.
Well, anyways, it turned out he singed a couple whiskers right up in there, and he had a waxy nose, and he smelled like cactus blossom. Anyways, he's got it all over the damn table, and it did not burn for no 3 hours, so he probably ruined your candle, and I'm gonna need a new one. But you guys, oh, I turned it off by accident. Like, for real though, they're good. They're good and thick, and they smell. I use the same one. These pot leaf ones, you guys, last for days and days, and they're cute. And I don't know what they smell like. Pink sugar sand, it says, but they smell really good. Mr. Sherry even likes these smells, huh?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite one? He doesn't know, but I think it's the pot leaf one. He really likes that one. It smells really good. So check her out in the description on her Etsy site. And again, thank you everybody. And for everyone who was sharing the links, Archie texted me like, why aren't people sharing self-help links? And yes, drag me if you want to. I thought of the trigger warnings and all of that, but I was so like anxious I forgot to even post like a suicide awareness phone number or anything like that. So everybody who did that in chat, thank you so much for doing that for me. And Archie, thank you for reminding me of that. And Dave G for posting them as well. And everyone who posted it. It was a lot of people doing it. So I don't know how or why it slipped my mind. It did. So I'm sure that this will be going around multiple other channels to drag me and bully me with. So be it. I really hope they do not, just because I'm thankful for the women that shared their stories tonight. And so I hope that they'll have a little bit of a heart and not do that to you guys. I don't care if they do it to me. So again, thank you everyone for being here. Emma, I see you, by the way. Hello. And yeah, thank you everyone for listening. And I hope that it helps a little bit understand kind of where I'm coming from, why I do some of the things that I do, and why I believe in second chances so much, and why no, I don't prefer kids being in the system. So I don't know. I hope you guys take from it some positive anyway. And I'm thinking about maybe doing like a therapy session like once a month or something, where people can just come and feel safe and have a safe place to speak if they want to about hard things. So, Jay, love you. All right, I will talk to everyone later. And Don and Candus, if you're listening, I hope that you are doing well. And I hope that if you got to talk to your boys, that they are also doing well. And I'm sure he's listening. So thanks, everybody. Good night.
Bye, everybody.
Wait, I will give you guys a look at my eye candy. I get to snuggle up to that tonight. Woo! All right, good night, guys. Love you.
Thank you.